All right, man. Get your ass up. The playoff starts today. This is literally going to be the most pivotal playoffs of the decade thus far. If you guys remember, Christmas Day seen an 80% viewership jump simply because of these two legends. The NBA simply can't get away from the legends of the 2010s, and personally, I love it. At this time, both LeBron's team and Stephen Curry's team, they were both barely above 500, and nobody really seen them as a championship threat. Little did we know, bruh, only a month and some change post this great game, we would have two of the biggest trades from these two teams. The two faces of the NBA for the last decade, they have a chance now to both get their fifth championship. Since the 2010s, these are the players with the most finals games in that span. As you can see, LeBron and Steph and a mixture of Iggy, they're basically at the top. They ran the era. If Steph happens to win a fifth championship, he would now have a much stronger case for being the best point guard ever. A much more valid case in my opinion. Magic won 5 championships and he never won without Kareem. Stephen Curry has 2 championships without a top 75 player. If he somehow wins his third, basically with this third variation of the Warriors dynasty that probably shouldn't even exist, that puts him in very elite class. Don't forget that Stephen Curry, alongside Zeke, he's only the second small guard to lead a team to a championship. If he leads them to 5, his argument, alongside his impact and longevity, it simply becomes a lot stronger. LeBron can have a much more valid case if you want to call him the GOAT. If he plays one more finals game, he passes Kareem with the most games played in the finals in the modern era. If he wins one more championship with the Lakers, he will now join Robert Horry and Dennis Rodman as the only players to win multiple championships with the multiple different teams. If he happens to win finals MVP, he'll be the only player to win multiple finals MVPs with multiple different teams, 2 with Miami and 2 with the Lakers. Also, you can no longer deny that this man is a Lakers legend. That would basically be him passing the torch to Luka, the player that Luka looked up to. And he's literally passing it to him with a championship fresh after he just lost. And if he somehow happens to beat Boston, he's literally evening the championship score against Boston. Even if he somehow happens to beat Cleveland, he's literally preventing Cleveland from having any type of relevant championship history without his name attached to it. That would be insane. Since we're talking about Cleveland, might as well stay here. If they happen to win a championship, literally out of nowhere, they finally have a relevant year without this man's name attached to it. Look at their best years and look at who's typically associated. Also, it would be an all-time year. I'm assuming they'd beat Boston, a 61-win champion fresh off their historic year last year. And if they happen to make the finals and played OKC, a 68-win team, that would now be the only 2 teams to win 67 games or more and not win the NBA Finals. They got taken down by the Cleveland Cavaliers. If they somehow happen to beat the Lakers, that will be them adding finally more to their history outside of LeBron against LeBron. If Luka leads the Lakers on this iconic revenge tour that we talk about for years, this is what it will mean for him. We've never seen a Finals MVP that got traded mid-year. He would now join his teammate as one of the only players to lead 2 completely different teams back to the finals in back-to-back years. Oh, and also, these are the players with the highest career playoff point averages ever. He's only behind Jordan, and there goes his teammate at 6. To me, the lamest, most outdated thing that you can do in 2025 basketball-wise is hate on Jayson Tatum. Literally doesn't even make much sense anymore, and he's actually one of the most decorated 27-year-olds we've ever seen. Since this man joined the league in 2017, he has the most playoff points. Why? Because he's played by far the most playoff games. He's never missed a playoff game. He's never missed the playoffs in general. He's only not been in the conference finals twice. And if he and Jaylen Brown somehow happens to win this championship and go back-to-back, he immediately puts himself in uncomfortable conversations. I don't care how much aura you think he lacks. Since the Bill Russell era, not Larry Bird, not Paul Pierce, nobody has gone back-to-back. Nobody. Winning 2 out of 3 championships, making 6 out of 8 conference championships. That would be one of the craziest 8-year stretches that we've seen. Also with the new CBA and those extremely harsh second apron tax penalties, this might be the only chance we get to see a repeat champion in a while. If Kawhi Leonard somehow happened to win this championship, this man would actually have a legacy as like the most sneaky title thief ever. What exactly do I mean by that? When you think Kawhi is out and you basically forget about him, he damn near turns into Michael Jordan. Please don't forget about the state of Kawhi when he won his last championship. Literally nobody seen that coming. He's injured. He looks like he was being a diva with San Antonio. He basically got sent to Toronto for his career to kind of die, and he wins them their first championship. If this man somehow does this again with the Clippers because he randomly looks healthy as hell, he's actually going to have one of those careers that you have to contextualize, because if you did not see it live, you won't understand it. He'll be the first player to win 2 teams their first championships ever. He would likely join LeBron as the only player to win 3 finals MVPs with 3 completely different franchises. That will put him in some extremely odd conversations that he will force himself into. He's a quiet dude, and what I learned about Kawhi, just don't pay him no mind. That's when he becomes the most lethal. The OKC Thunder, they won 68 games. They're the youngest team to even win 60 games. I basically just showed you this, but look at all the teams that won 67 plus games and look at their results. They basically all win championships. Can't lie, this is actually the tightest MVP race that I've ever seen. It's simply going to be a loser that shouldn't be a loser. But I'll give the slightest edge to Shea, and this is why. If this team somehow happens to win an NBA championship, they are going to be the second youngest champions ever. This is actually unprecedented dominance. Also, this is a team of youth basically going against a conference of legends. If they escape this conference and somehow wins a championship, it's likely going to be one of the most impressive championship runs that we've seen. It's inevitable. As the youngest 60-win team ever, these teams typically don't get here. They're going to play Jokic or Kawhi in the second round. They're going to play LeBron and Luka or Steph and Jimmy in the conference finals. They're likely going to play a Celtics team that's been to 2 of the last 3 NBA finals and 5 of the last 7 conference finals. All of this, and they're the youngest team to ever win 60 wins. If they escape with all the context that I just added as the youngest 60-win team ever, is one of the greatest championship runs we've ever seen. And oh, these are the old legends in the playoffs that don't have a ring yet. If Steph, Kawhi, and most definitely Jokic, if they somehow get any one of these legends their first championship, it should basically count as 2, maybe 3 for Jokic. Jimmy Butler or James Harden, they are going to have to contribute heavily to get theirs. James Harden basically would get to go out how I believe Chris Paul should have went out with him in Houston, and Jimmy Butler would have contributed to one of the most significant rings in NBA history. I'm sorry, but these are the teams that to me are championship contenders, so these are the ones that I touched on. Now, here's my playoff predictions. I'm not going to tell you guys what I don't believe just for the hell of it. This is truly what I believe. Golden State versus Houston is going to be an absolute war. I think Amen Thompson, Dylan Brooks, and Fred VanVleet, they are going to be absolute hell. I do believe the greatness of Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler will allow them to edge them out in Houston in 7 games, but it's going to wear them out for their next series. I like Cleveland, but it was something about DeAndre Hunter hitting the side of the backboard when their streak was on the line that gave me the oh wait. They haven't been here before, and when the moments get tight against Boston, I don't know if their youth can prevail against that team. OKC's one of the greatest defensive teams that I've seen, and I mean that. I've seen Lou Dort completely take stars out of games this year and just harass them and make their lives hell. And although I love the Lakers team, I genuinely believe by the time they even get to OKC, they're going to psychologically be a little bit worn down. This team has been through a lot this year. LeBron is 40. JJ Redick is a first-time head coach. Luka has been through a lot emotionally this year. Luka was just in the finals last year. I don't think Minnesota is necessarily going to be an easy series. I think when they play Golden State and the whole LeBron Steph thing part 6 or whatever it is, that's going to be a lot emotionally. And OKC, as already a young team that don't know what they don't know, and basically it feels like everybody's already counting them out, they'll have a much more smoother ride. OKC Boston is just simply where I see OKC's great season ending. I just don't think anybody can beat Boston 4 times. Extremely boring bracket. I get it. I know somebody would have wanted me to say some off the wall Bucks versus the Warriors or something crazy, but these are the two best teams that I've seen all year, and I think they'll meet and Boston will win. If you guys like this video, the playoffs are here. Playoff content will be great, bro. I'm so excited. Follow my social media sites for all my live reactions. Turn on post notifications, please. Do all that great stuff, guys. And until next time, as always, stay tuned.